everybody out there in TV land. I want to welcome you to Sara Show. See that globe back there? That's because we're global. We're going to be taking you around town and around the world. We're going to live boscadiously through others. We're going to learn, we're going to live, and we're going to love on God. Stay healthy, stay tuned, and watch this. We have some interesting guests today. We have Linda Beeman. She's the president of Texas Trotters Toastmasters. T3, I call them the triple threat. It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? And then we have a winner. We're going to take you from the beginning to the end of what Toastmasters can do for you, as well as a very interesting, funny thing. Fear, can you tell me what it is? False evidence appearing real. I'm going to dare you to jump out into the sky with me today as we dive out of an airplane. Take two. We're watching you. Hello everybody, we're back. I tell you we'd be back in 2 and 2. Did we take too long? Well, I hope not, because I've got a very special lady here for you today, Linda Beeman. But before I get into this conversation with Linda, I'd just like to take a pause for the people out in West and for Boston, the marathon people. Let us be mindful and be prayerful for all those families. Thank you so much. Linda, such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Madam President, for coming out and enjoying this beautiful day with me and just being a guest here. Linda's going to talk to us today about Toastmasters. Do you know what Toastmasters is? Linda, Beeman, tell them what Toastmasters is and what your function is in Toastmasters.
I'd love to, Sarah. Thank you for inviting me. Sarah and I know one another because we're members of the same Toastmasters club. So Toastmasters is a club that started back in 1924 by a gentleman named Ralph Smedley at a YMCA out in California. And ever since then, it's followed the same format of teaching people how to speak in public and how to be comfortable. And something that obviously Sarah has learned very well.
Thanks to Toastmasters. You sure look lovely today in that blue. You complement my green very well.
Thank you. We tend to do this quite a bit in our meetings as well, I've noticed.
Yes, that's what I like about Toastmasters. It gave me an opportunity to come out and dress up and learn a little bit more about myself. Real deal. My daughter says, Mom, you need to find your own friends. And not only being in Toastmasters is it a professional organization, it has brought me a lot of healthy, warm relationships, professionally as well as, building a healthy relationship with a group of people that were like-minded.
Mm-hmm. Toastmasters is great that way. There are almost 200 Toastmasters clubs in the Houston area, and each one of them tends to have a different personality. There are clubs that meet in corporations where they're all people who work together. There are clubs like ours that meet in the morning. We meet at the Trotter YMCA, which is on Augusta between San Felipe and Woodway, every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. We tend to get a lot of professional people because we meet early in the morning. But there are evening groups, lunchtime groups, there are singles groups, there are all sorts of groups. So it's fun to go around to the different Toastmasters clubs and find one that fits your personality.
Yeah, and two, she's not telling you one of the main ingredients. They do a continental breakfast, the little breakfast bar and coffee. That's a great thing, too. Nothing like functioning on an empty stomach, but not there you won't. We have a lot of telemarketing going on there. What I mean by telemarketing, people are telling all their stuff. They have the opportunity to talk about themselves and what they do through a series of speeches. Could you tell me about that? Tell our audience about that today.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, when you first start, you are given a manual that covers 10 different speeches, and each speech addresses a different area of your speech. So it could be using materials, it could be using different levels of voice, it could be hand motions. By the time you've gone through the whole booklet, you've gone through every aspect that you need to think about when you're doing a speech.
Wow. So what was your favorite speech in that manual, Linda?
Well, the first speech is called the icebreaker, and that's to make everybody comfortable with giving their first speech. They figure that you'll be talking about yourself, which is a topic that you probably know better than anybody else. So I think the icebreaker speeches are always my favorite because it is your introduction to the club. You can talk about anything about yourself that you want to share, and it's one way that we all get to know one another. It's a great icebreaker for all of us.
Wow. One of my favorite things about Toastmasters is word of the day. They always have a word of the day. They give you a word, They give you the meaning of that word. They break down how the word is to be pronounced. And then you are to use that word in your sentence or your speech or at any time that you're speaking in table topics, which is a 1 to 2 minute speech on your feet, no practice at all. And I really like that part of Toastmasters. Are you guys doing anything interesting in Toastmasters coming up soon?
Well, now, Sarah, funny you should ask. Yes, we are actually having an open house to introduce new members to our club, and we're very excited about it. We're going to be having Samir Bachik, who's going to come and speak to us. He's world-renowned as a fitness expert, and he has several very famous clients here in the Houston area that you would have heard of. Dominique Saxa, Deborah Duncan, several beautiful people. Victoria Osteen, yes.
Joel.
People you would want to look like.
Me.
Well, there,
I'm
we're
working
sold.
on it.
He's also supposed to be an amazing speaker.
Yes.
So he's coming to speak at our club on Wednesday morning, May 8th at 7 o'clock at the Trotter Family YMCA. The meeting is open, as all of our meetings are, to the public, and we're really looking for a good turnout. And we're going to give a little bit of a taste of what a normal Toastmasters meeting is like too, so that people who come to see Samir can also learn a little bit more about what a Toastmasters meeting is like and determine whether it's something they want to join.
Wow, how much is the ticket to get into that?
Well, that's the best part. It's free. All Toastmasters meetings are free to visitors. You're welcome to come to any Toastmasters meeting at any time. And when you decide to join, Toastmasters is a nonprofit, so it's actually very affordable for around $100 a year. It's a great professional development experience that you can't beat anywhere.
Wow, this is so awesome. Later in the segment, we're going to show you just how Toastmasters really adds up. We've got a great guy coming to you by the name of Al. I'm going to let him tell you your last name because I want you to stay tuned in case you know him. You might turn the channel. So stay tuned. You know what? I want to tell you something really special about Toastmasters. It has allowed me the ability to compete and win trophies. It has brought my self-esteem up. I know I'm pretty. I know, but sometimes I don't always feel pretty. You know, pretty is from the inside out. And that's what I like about Toastmasters. It is the total package. I would really advise you to check it out at least. I had the opportunity of meeting Samir, 4-time world nutritionist. World. That's huge. Listeners, did you hear that? 4-time world. 29 times #1 in Houston, Texas. So he's what you call a homeboy. Come on out and check us out for that open house on May 8th at 7 a.m. at the YMCA.
Trotter Family YMCA on Augusta between San Felipe and Woodway.
Now, what is the name of your club or our club?
Well, our club is called the Texas Trotters Toastmasters, T3 we call it, or as Sarah likes to call it, Triple Threat, because we are the club to join in the Houston area. And we call ourselves Texas Trotters Toastmasters, obviously, because we meet at the Trotter Family YMCA.
You know what? And this is our Madam President. Isn't she gorgeous? I happen to be the membership person, so I like to tell people all about this. You know, not only is this excellent for adults, but we're looking for young adults, our teens. They're our next generational leaders. So bring your teens with you. Bring your young adults, college students, you're welcome as well. Please come out and join us at the YMCA. We're looking forward to you joining us on that day for a continental breakfast. And Linda, again, we want to thank Linda for coming out with us today. And this is Linda Beeman. Linda, is there a webpage that they could go to? I believe that's Toastmasters.org.
Oh, yes.
Toastmasters.org. You can look that up just so you guys can see that we're legit. So come on out and join us. Remember, that's May the 8th, 7 a.m., Trotters YMCA on San Felipe and Augusta, or San Felipe and...
Augusta, San Felipe, and Woodway.
Okay, see, there's 2 ways to get to it. Come on out. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. We love you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Greetings, we're back again. I tell you, just can't get enough of us, can you? Well, we can't get enough of you either. Right now, I have with me Al Demang, and he is a very special gentleman. He's going to give you a presentation that's going to knock you off your socks. Talked to Linda Beeman earlier about Toastmasters, what it is and what it can do for you. Well, you know what? Show and tell. You got to tell and you got to show, right? Al's going to show us what it does. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Al Domingue.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Al. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Oh, you tickled me to death by inviting me. Thank you.
Oh, God, I'm so honored seeing you be up there in front of all those people.
I was scared to death.
Oh, I could not tell.
Right, yes.
And not only was your performance spectacular, the message that was in it. I felt like I got revived, saved, sent on a vacation,
Oh,
brought
my
into
goodness.
reality, and relaxed on a beach at the same time.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That makes me feel good. Thank you.
Wow. And people says, well, you know, Sarah, I've never heard you speak. I said, you're looking at me right now.
All right.
That's him. Well, you know what? Al is Toastmasters Telephone Talkers. You know, that I just did, that's one of the things that they penalize you for, 25 cents to a pig. That's what you pay for that. Al's at AT&T Telephone Talkers. And that's where I met Al. Al, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I worked for AT&T for about 31 years, and I retired, and I come back as a contractor. But in the late 1980s, I met a couple of people there that wanted to start a Toastmasters club, and I was able to become a charter member of that club. And what I really wanted to do was, because I like to talk, but Toastmasters also helps you with your listening skills. And so what I've learned and what I've put together over the years is more what I've learned from listening to other people and learning to fine-tune your ears to where you really hear somebody's message when they're talking to you. That's another aspect about Toastmasters you don't hear about. Not only does it enhance your speaking skills, but it really enhances your listening skills. So when your wife tells you to do something, you know exactly what she means.
That is so awesome. So you've been a member for Toastmasters for how many years?
Oh, about 30 years, yes. Off and on. I was real involved for many years, and then my job went out into the field, and so I had to go to Beaumont, and I wasn't able to be in a club for a while. But as soon as I got back close, I jumped right back in. It's a wonderful organization.
Looks like a baby, doesn't he? Yeah. Well, I tell you, you must have started Toastmasters when you were 2.
Oh, very young, yeah.
Well, you sure look good. And we're looking so forward to seeing you do your performance as well as speaking, just speaking. You guys stay tuned. I tell you, this right here is going to encourage you. This is going to knock you off your socks. So get your Coca-Cola and your water and leave the peanuts alone.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good morning and what a beautiful day. 6 of my 11 grandchildren live very close together in a little community just west of Fort Worth. And when I get out of my car, a glorious thing happens because here them little buckaroos come. And the first one lands in my arm, the next 5 of them start pushing and shoving and vying for position to get in line to get their pawpaw hug. And I hold them little boogers just as tight as I can without breaking them, and I give them a and a big old kiss on the cheek. And while we're resyncing our hearts and reconnecting our lives, I can't tell you what they're feeling inside of them, but the feeling inside of me is one of jubilation. It's a feeling of love and affection, a feeling of amazement and wonderment, a feeling of pride and joy. All of us have agencies in our lives that stir the feelings within us. These forces of our character that are embodied within our individual spirits. And I'm of the opinion that it's these inner feelings is that which is most important. Our feelings have such a profound impact upon our lives. After all, it is our inward feelings that produce our outward actions. My speech today is about one of these feelings. It's about the feeling of inspiration. You see, inspiration to me is like a giant wave of the sea that comes crashing onto the beach and then ebbs back into the ocean from which it came. But it gives and it receives, both coming and going. Inspiration can be an eloquent painting. It can be a beautiful song. Inspiration can be a speech, a person. And we can see the results of inspiration all around us. Oh, but the feeling of inspiration can only be seen through our emotional eyes until today. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you today the feeling of inspiration. And if inspiration, the feeling, touches you on your hand, you may become a prolific writer or a great surgeon or the tanner of fine leather. If the feeling touches you on your heel, you may become an Olympic runner or a mountain climber or a great leader. If the feeling touches your eyes, you'll have great vision, maybe be a sharpshooter or have great insight to many things. Please help me welcome today the feeling of inspiration. Feelings. Say hello to my friends. Oh, Feelings wanted me to tell you that one time she touched somebody on their butt and they become the biggest. Now, Feeling, I can't say that in front of these people. But we do see that the feeling of inspiration can be funny. Well, Feeling, what would you have for us today? Oh, you want us to soar high with you? Well, I don't know. I mean, how high is high? Oh, that's good. Feeling says that one can only soar as high as the inspiration within. So the feeling of inspiration can not only be very funny, but it can be also very scholarly. Well, Feeling, you are so small and we're much larger and so many. How can we soar with you? Oh, we must have courage. Courage, like the first time we rode the school bus alone. Or that time we saw those kids we didn't know playing and we went up and asked them if we could join. Or the first time we told that special person in our life how much we loved them. Oh, we knew that the response could be negative, but the courage within us pushed us. You see, Andrew Jackson once said, one man with courage makes a majority. Oh, look, Feeling, how high we are, and look at all the things around us and below us that can inspire us. Reach out and get one. Well, I don't know. We may fall off. We must trust? Trust in our feelings? Oh, no. Trust in ourselves. Trust in ourselves as simply as we do when we drive our automobiles. The trust we have in ourselves to raise our children, to perform our duties at work. But who? Dr. Seuss. Feeling wants me to quote a poem by Dr. Seuss. Okay, Dr. Seuss says, we have brains in our head, we have feet in our shoes, we can steer ourselves in any direction we choose. We know who we are, we're on our own, we'll be the fella who decides where to go. Oh, look, Feeling, at the inspiration that I picked up, how beautiful, how wonderful. What direction do I want to go? Oh, so when I have a feeling of inspiration, I need to move it forward? Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, the greatest thing on earth is not so much as where we stand, as in which direction we're moving. My friends, as the giant wave of the sea comes crashing upon the beach, the feeling of inspiration will come upon all of us at some time. Our position is to move it forward. This little bird right here and I just simply remind today that within us is the intestinal fortitude, the inner trust, the inner faith, the courage to take that feeling and move it forward. Because we never know when we might become the part of the wave that ebbs back into the sea, to reconnect with the next wave of inspiration that will hit somebody else. Over 25 years ago, I was touched on the heel to jog. Now I just simply jog around the building where I work 3 days a week. A lady stopped me in the hall the other day. She says, look, I've lost 7 pounds. I said, congratulations. She says, watching you run in the mornings has inspired me to get back in shape. And I thought, wow, I just simply run to relieve stress. I run to watch the dogwood trees bloom, to watch the birds sing and the squirrels play. I run just as a form of meditation to become one within the creation of my Creator. But later that day, I thought, wow, I, Al Dome, I am a feeling of inspiration. And you are too, my friends, because you inspire people all through your life. You see, we are the waves of the sea. Now, one last thought. If you hear somebody speak, or you go to a Toastmasters meeting and you're not inspired, if you don't have that feeling of inspiration, then come see me. Because I'm figuring on what you need is one big old paw hug. Mr. Toastmaster.
Hey y'all, we're back, but we're about to go and we're going to be seeing you next time. We had a wonderful show today. Our subject was Toastmasters, flying out of planes. Hey, don't be scared. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We had Linda Beeman from Toastmasters. She's with Texas Trotters Toastmaster. Remember, it was the tongue twister. And then we had Al Dominguez from Telephone Talkers. He was the one who did that great speaking bit for you. Hey, just remember, you're important. You're part of that wave in the ocean. We got a great next show coming up for you too. We got the Second Baptist Teen Kids Ministry. We'll be talking about their musical that they have coming up on May 8th at 6:30 at the Second Baptist Church Woodway campus. It's gonna be awesome, kids. Let's run. And then also we've got Samir. Yeah, you know Samir, the #1 fitness trainer in the world, 4 times, 29 times in Houston, fitness trainer #1. He's a homeboy. You guys keep on coming back here to Sara. Not only are you going to have fun and get informative things to talk about, to be a part, we're going to make you laugh. Let me keep you laughing. Sara. Hey! We're going to fall out that plane again. Until next time, bye. Oh, I shouldn't say bye. See you soon.